Previously on the One Piece Summer, the Straw Hats finally entered the Grand Line after some trouble in Lowtown. Right in the entry of the Grand Line, the Straw Hats come across a huge blue whale called Laboon. Laboon had been waiting for his friends for 50 years. After trading some blows, Luffy declares Laboon as his rival and promises him that he will meet him after his journey. And with that, the Straw Hats head to Wisky Peak. As the Straw Hats head to Wisky Peak, they quickly understand that the Grand Line has an ever-changing weather. The wind shifts constantly, making really hard to navigate. Eventually, the weather stabilizes, which means they are approaching an island. When they arrive at Wisky Peak, Mr. 9 and Miss Wednesday thank the crew and jump off the ship. Since the log post needs time to reset, the crew has no other choice but to dock in the island. Much to their surprise, the residents welcome them with open arms. The crew starts to party with locals until night when they eventually fall asleep. However, Igarapoi, the town's mayor, and other civilians in disguise turn out to be agents of the bounty hunter organization Baroque Works. But Zoro and Nami were both awake. Zoro even claims to know the organization since he was invited to join them. The millions start attacking Zoro, but he easily defeats them. The other members of Baroque Works fight Zoro too, but Zoro just keeps defeating them one after the other. He defeats Mr. 9 and Mr. 8, and when Miss Wednesday takes Luffy hostage, Zoro easily stops her. That's when Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine arrive. Their mission was directly given by Mr. Zero, the boss of the organization. They have to find and kill a spy on Baroque Works ranks. The spies turn out to be Igaram, who was disguised as Mr. 8 or Igarapoi, and Princess Vivi, who was disguised as Miss Wednesday, and they're both from the Alabasta Kingdom. Mr. 9 and Miss Wednesday decide to help Igaram and Vivi even after knowing they are spies, but they are easily defeated. That's when Igaram asks the Straw Hats to help them, promising 1 billion bellies to Nami in return. Zoro comes to Vivi's rescue, however Luffy, thinking Zoro killed the townspeople because they didn't serve his favorite food, attacks Zoro. After fighting for a while, they unintentionally defeat Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine, and stop fighting when Nami smacks them on the head. Vivi explains to the three that the kingdom of Alabasta is falling to ruin, as a civil war is rising, and that's because of Baroque Works and their leader, who according to Vivi, wants to take over Alabasta and turn it into the ideal nation ruled by him. She also reveals that the leader of Baroque Works is one of the Shishibukai, Crocodile. By revealing this, Nami, Zoro and Luffy are now on Baroque Works' hit list. Igaram, disguised as Vivi, tells them he will be a decoy so they can escape, and leaves on a boat that explodes afterwards, killing him. The Straw Hats run for the Mary and find Miss Olusunday waiting for them. She is the highest ranking female Baroque Works agent. She reveals that she was the one that exploded Igaram's ship. Miss Olusunday gives Vivi an eternal pose, a permanent log pose that points to just one island. This one points to the Nami no Sai Highlands, which is supposedly very close to Alabasta, and Vivi could arrive at Alabasta without going through many trouble. But Luffy destroys it, claiming that no one decides his journey or how he does it.
何？あいついいやつなの？なんでこんなものを？
どうせ罠だろ。
どうかしら？どうしよう。あんなやつからこんなもの受け取りたくない。だけどこの船に乗せてもらう以上安全な航路を取った方が。そんなのどっちだっていい！
Miss Olusunday leaves and tells the Straw Hats they are headed to Little Garden, a dangerous island. The Straw Hats and Vivi soon find themselves on Little Garden, but the island is anything but little. It is stuck in the prehistorical time and there's huge dinosaurs and plant life. Vivi and Luffy decide to explore the island and come across Dory, a giant warrior from Elbaf, who becomes their friend. Later, Zoro and Sanji decide to compete to see who can hunt the animal with most meat. With Nami and Usopp left alone in the ship, they come across Brogy, another giant that decapitates a T-Rex. Broggy decides to bring Nami and Usopp with him. Somewhere else in the island, Mr. 5, Mr. Valentine, Mr. 3 and Miss Golden Week reveal that the giants have a bounty of 100 million bellies each on their heads, and so the four agree to kill the giants as well as the Straw Hats. Back at Dory's campsite, he explains the Straw Hats that he has been fighting Broggy for 100 years, although he does not remember why the fight began. Usopp gets inspired to fight for his dream. When Dory and Broggy start a fight, Dory suffers an internal injury from an explosion after drinking some of the Straw Hats' beer that was tampered with by Mr. 5. Dory tries to attack Luffy, but is quickly defeated. Dory still decides to go and fight Broggy. Meanwhile, Mr. 3 and Miss Golden Week capture Zoro and then Nami after she is separated from Usopp. Vivi suspects that Baroque Works agents were the ones that captured Nami since she was on their hit list and not Usopp. Eventually, Broggy wins the fight due to Dory's injuries. Broggy noticed that his giant fellow didn't fight as well as usual, but is in prison in Mr. 3 Wax. Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine capture Vivi. Mr. 3 then imprisons Zoro, Nami and Vivi in his giant candle set, which will turn them into wax dolls along with Broggy. Zoro is about to cut his feet off when Luffy, Usopp and Karu, Vivi's bird companion, arrive. Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine face Usopp and Karu, but Usopp and Karu can't do much since his gunpowder star is useless against Mr. 5. Meanwhile, Mr. 3 prevents Luffy's attempt to destroy his candle set. Luffy is then hypnotized by Miss Golden Week and their caller's trap. Eventually, Usopp realizes the situation and burns Luffy's shirt to free him completely from the hypnosis, forcing Mr. 3 to form his mecha-like armor, the Candle Champion. That's when Usopp realizes Mr. 3 fruit weakness. Despite the density of Mr. 3 wax, it could still be melted away. The Mr. 5 team takes down Usopp before he shoots his flame star at the candle set, but Usopp was able to give Karu a rope soaked in oil. Karu runs around the candle set, and Usopp tells Luffy to set the rope on fire, freeing Broggy, Nami, Vivi and Zoro. Before Mr. 5 can shoot Vivi, Usopp makes him eat a Tabasco star, and is saved by Zoro, who cuts Mr. 5. Meanwhile, Luffy and Karu pursue Mr. 3, and though Mr. 3 tried to trick Luffy with his clone statues, Luffy knocks him out through sheer instinct, while Karu defeats Miss Golden Week. Meanwhile, Sanji is in Mr. 3 Candle House and receives a call from Mr. 0 Crocodile, who mistakes Sanji for Mr. 3. He is ordered to go to Alabasta using the eternal pose that the Unluckies will deliver. Sanji takes out the Unluckies and keeps the eternal pose. Dory the Giant had only passed out, and turns out he is okay, and so they bid farewell to the Straw Hats. As the Straw Hats leave the island, a giant goldfish tries to eat the Mary, but is slayed by the giants. And so, after making two giant friends, the Straw Hats head to Alabasta. And that's 8th and 9th arc of the One Piece series, and in such good arcs, and honestly, like, we can see that the world is starting to develop and there's new things coming up, more devil fruits. There will be way more devil fruits from now on because the Grand Line is a place where there's more devil fruits. Obviously there will be more devil fruits, and Zoro is a complete badass, defeating 100 people from the Straw Hats, from the Baroque Works. That he's a mad lad, and the next arc is gonna be amazing too. I know it, and you'll see it too. But it won't be that big, but it won't be as small as to do, because the next arc is a very big arc. So the one next to the next one. So I'm gonna do singular the next arc and the one after it. And well, I just hope you guys enjoyed I think you guys are enjoying this series. I'm enjoying to making it too. And well, I just want to ask you to leave your questions. If you have any questions, comment it down there. I'll go through it in the SBS. This week there was no SBS because there was no Dave Gould didn't have a lot of questions. You guys didn't have questions, so I decided to put this video up already. And we'll go through your questions and Dave Gould's questions, hopefully in the next episode of the SBS. And thanks a lot. Remember to leave your like and subscribe to keep up with the series. And let's go to the next episode preview. The Straw Hats are forced to stop at Drum Island looking for a doctor. There they meet Dr. Korea and Tony Chopper and face Wapol. Next episode, Drum Island Arc. 海賊王に俺はな